Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Tuesday, October 25th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We'll talk World Series baseball here in just a couple of seconds. Great television archives, top of the page, great eye candy stuff, a lot of baseball stuff in the archives here. The last couple of weeks, we keep everything right lined up for you if you want to take a look at it. And our rock and roll poll question from yesterday, this Reverend Harold Camping who keeps... seems to have a cottage industry predicting the end of the world. So he blew it again. That's twice in 1 year. But had he been correct, how would you have looked back at your life? That was our question yesterday. Number one answer at 51%. I was generally happy and led a good life. Number two answer, I wasted too much time, didn't accomplish nearly as much as I would have liked. That's at 27%. And then the other answers were sort of negligible, including answer D, at 5%, I was a real son of a bitch. Okay, well, that's good to know. Today's rock and roll poll question. Last Sunday was the 10th anniversary of the iPod. So what is on your portable music device? Doesn't necessarily need to be an iPod, but what do you have on there? Mostly old rock and pop songs, mostly new rock and pop songs, mostly new country, mostly old country, rap and hip hop, classical. I have one but hardly use it, or I don't have one. Please answer in the corner, and we'll have results for you throughout the course of the day and here tomorrow on the Daily Dose. So we're going back to Hooters. For Game 6, if there is one, the weather forecast looks absolutely abysmal and atrocious, and if I were you, I would start making plans immediately for Thursday, Friday, as opposed to Wednesday and Thursday. They say the weather is going to be just ghastly out there. Not only cold and windy, but a lot of rain all day and rain at game time. And it's just not looking good. So we may be at Hooters the rest of the week, which ain't necessarily a bad thing, by the way. All right, just a couple of quick notes, because by the time you are watching this on your little computer or portable device, almost everything that could be said or written about has been said or written about. But I will tell you the one little piece of advice here that I think is key to this whole discussion. This morning on KFNS, Jason Isringhausen was on, and he said that phone calls to the bullpen getting garbled or misinterpreted or just wiped out entirely happen all the time. Again, they're going to say, oh, JC, you're defending Tony La Russa. It's got nothing to do with it. I'm just dealing with facts here. And the fact is that Isringhausen says it happens all the time. He said that in New York with the Mets, it happened 4 or 5 times this past season alone. So again, you get into a World Series and anything that happens becomes amplified. But apparently, you would think that there would be safeguards in place, or that maybe he could hold up a giant placard or something. Get Marty Prather, who sits out there in right field with all those goofy signs at Busch Stadium. Have him hold up a sign that says, I said Mott, not Zubchinski. But again, they say that that's what happens. And again, jump all over Tony La Russa if you want. But the story of the Cardinals leaving men on base and Matt Holliday not hitting, them walking Albert Pujols because Holliday isn't hitting, and that's the story. We just left too many goddamn men on base last night. And as late as this morning, the stories were still saying that Alan Craig missed a sign. Well, he didn't miss a sign. Albert gave his own hit and run sign, which does happen. It's sort of the equivalent of a runner having carte blanche to steal. He gives himself the steal sign, So it's not that common, but it does happen with really good hitters, especially contact hitters. And Jose Oquendo was in on it too. It's not like Albert gave the sign to Alan Craig and completely circumventing Tony La Russa or the management. He gave the sign to Oquendo. Oquendo flashed it to Craig. Craig said, oh, hit and run. Well, they buzz a 99-mile-an-hour fastball at Albert's head, an unhittable pitch. Catcher stands up, throws to second base. He's out. That's it. So, Cardinals got a hit. He had 16 runs the other night. We haven't hit now for 2 games. Back to Busch Stadium. My guess is Thursday and Friday. Let's see what happens. All right, we had quite a healthy discussion on the air yesterday about this business involving World Series tickets. People will recall that in 2006, Game 5 attendees were holding tickets that said Game 4. This is because the World Series is unique and special in that there is not a date on the World Series ticket. There is a game number. So in 2006, people who were at Game 5 and watched the clincher, watched the Cardinals win the championship, were actually holding tickets that said Game 4. This was our discussion yesterday. This was corroborated by a representative in the St. Louis Cardinals organization yesterday. So what I was saying on the air was right. Or was it? Because now today, Major League Baseball says they've clarified this and that they have changed their policy. They have changed their policy from 2006 because so many complained. So, turns out now that what we told you yesterday was not right. But interesting that the Cardinals were still Cardinals, as of yesterday, were still telling me that what I was saying was correct. And it turns out they were wrong. And Major League Baseball, I don't know if they changed the policy without telling anybody. But, how can I be saying one thing? The Cardinals say, yes, JC, what you're saying is absolutely correct. I know it sounds crazy and people are going to argue with you and yell and scream, but the policy, that's what the policy is. That's what happened in '06. Well, somewhere along the line, changed their policy and didn't tell anybody. So, by the way, the World Series TV ratings, at least on Sunday night, beat out the NFL, and that's a story right there. By the way, this is the anniversary in 2006 of Bill Buckner having the ball go through his legs for the Boston Red Sox, and the Mookie Wilson story and everything like that. All right, let's shift gears here and talk about Darrell Hammond, Saturday Night Live. We had him in the studio 4 or 5 years ago. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. You want to talk about a nice guy. And he was on with us for like an hour and was doing all these impressions. He was making us just double up with laughter. He was on the show for 14 years and apparently was a very screwed up guy. Coke, drinking, crack cocaine, crack dens in Harlem. Turns out his mother stabbed him when he was a kid, subjected him to electrical shocks. Guy's been in and out of psych wards. And he says at one time he had to be taken from NBC to the hospital in a straitjacket. This poor guy's got a book coming out on November 8th. We'll try to get him on the air. I feel very bad for the guy. I couldn't have liked the guy anymore. Lindsay Lohan's going to pose in Playboy. We don't know exactly when, but she's getting $750,000 to do it. This would have been a big story 5 years ago. Robin Williams got married on Sunday, his third marriage. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Billy Crystal at the wedding. Jennifer Aniston and Will Smith have the hottest celebrity bodies, according to a Fitness Magazine survey. Remember that story from earlier this year when Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle punched and shoved his girlfriend and then put a gun to his own head? Well, you'll be happy to know they're engaged. Young love. In a new survey to determine the world's worst smell, the scent of a wet dog has beat out stinky socks. The survey also named freshly baked bread as the world's best smell, just ahead of freshly cooked bacon and newly washed sheets. I am partial to the combination of a fireplace and a roasting chicken. All right, you get those two smells together, fireplace and a roasting chicken. There's nothing better than that. And by the way, also when it's really, really hot at night, on a summer, hot, humid night, the smell of a gasoline station. And people have argued with me. Also, fresh cut grass is pretty cool too. New survey on porn finds that women, especially young women, 18 to 25, love porn. DVDs are dropping in popularity and people watch it when they're bored. But 18 to 25-year-old women, that's the booming porn industry. McDonald's is selling the McRib nationally through the middle of November, which may explain Michael Moore's new Occupy McDonald's protest. And Halloween is coming up in a few days. That's when we see people dressed up as ghouls and bloodsuckers. The same thing you see every day when you walk into a Bank of America. Katy Perry, birthday today, 27. All natural for now. And we are 30 days away from Thanksgiving, 61 days until Christmas. JC's Eye Candy today. You have seen all this discussion about fastballs and curveballs and sliders and all this sort of stuff. I thought you might like to see a close-up picture of what these pitches look like when they're being held by the pitcher, the grip of these particular balls, and that's what we have on JC's Eye Candy. It's right below what you're looking at right now. All right, so we have a day off. We have probably a rain out tomorrow night, but we'll see. We'll be live at Hooters anyhow, and again on the air every day from noon till 3, along with Trish Gazelle, Trish's Trash, on the Big 550 KTRS. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Tuesday, October 25th, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.